Hi, thanks for checking out our channel. Hopefully you'll like this video and be of some benefit for somebody out there. If you're new to the channel, never seen any of our videos, or you have seen a bunch but you never subscribed, if you'd like to hit that subscribe button down there, we'd appreciate that. We've got about 350 plus videos. I think 365 is where we're currently sitting at as of when this video was recorded. Videos of different units and brands and models that we've worked on, old style ones from a long time ago to ones still being built today. We also have some videos on weigh scales and low bars and things that we've worked on and tested. We've got some review videos. We've got some how to repair videos, stuff like that. And then we have just some kind of show and tell videos of how units work, which is what this video is going to be about. We've got two websites, and there will be links down in the description area. So you can click on the little arrow drop-down box and click on either website, wherever you want. Either one of them, there's a link within that on the website itself that will take you to the other one. So if you forget, there's a link there, or on the actual website, there's another way to get to the other website. But anyways, one of our websites is a Fencer Fixer Repair. So Fencer and Fixer spelled like that, F as in Frank. And our other website is called cattlescalerepair.com, where we work on cattle scales and things. We work on a variety of brands of cattle scales and low bars and EID. We work on the Gallagher True Test and a bunch of others. But that's just a little bit about us. We're an independent shop, and all we do is work on this stuff. We don't sell anything. So if you've got an old unit that wants to be worked on, happy to help you out. I mean, we do sell parts occasionally from time to time to people, but we don't sell actual, energizers and fence chargers of new stuff. We're just a repair shop only. So, but if you ever got a question about a new one, we can help you out and tell you what's good and bad and about the different brands that are out there. Some are really good, some are really bad. So, and there's a little bit in between as well. So, be good to give you a second opinion on that way. If you're spending some good money on a unit, you're not going to be wasting your money, or you can maybe look a different route and go a different model, different brand, that kind of thing. We're happy to give you our 2 cents on stuff. All right, well, we'll get into this little unit here. I think it was a Zapper was the name on the thing up here, but it's missing half the sticker. It was a model Zap 20. It says solid state. I think it might be low impedance on the inside. I think this has been fitted and repaired at some other point in time, and I'll show you why when we get into this thing. It's already fixed and already going. I'm gonna turn on real quick just to make sure that light's still flashing. Yeah, there's a little light flashing on it. But it's a pretty neat little unit, pretty strong. Got a nice bite to it a nice spark to it whenever you jump across the terminals down here or up here. So let me go ahead and take the screws back out of it. I didn't quite tighten them up all the way, but because I wanted to make sure that after I put the lid on it that it was still going to work in case I didn't pinch a wire or something in there. We'll kind of talk about how it works and stuff to a point. All right. So here's the inner workings of the thing. Plug it back in. I'm actually going to turn it this way, so that way I can get to the terminals are down here on it. I want to be able to, test it and everything. But it's nice about this as well is everything is kind of separated on the inside. So some brands have everything built onto one. So it's got a capacitor that either plugs in or solders to the board. And the transformers are sometimes built onto the boards, or they're a plug and play kind of thing. But this one's nice because everything is separated. You got the board, capacitor, transformer, all separated. A lot of brands used to do it this way. Some brands still do it this way, where everything's all separated. So if you know what the problem is, you can kind of narrow it down or follow it and trace it to what the unit's doing or not doing. And how a fence charger works on a low impedance type, and even solid state to to a point, but how the low impedance ones work on how they flow, whether it's got the transformer, everything built onto one, or everything is all separated like this. And then either if it's plug-in battery or solar battery, it won't matter. All of them kind of operate in this way. You've got power coming into it. So like this is 120 volt AC. This one's got a couple fuses on there to kind of protect it on the power surge side for AC, on the AC side for power surges. Luckily the fuses were both fine on this one. And there's a lot of other little doodads on the board which don't really matter to how the flow works on when you explain it. But what it does, it gradually goes through these yellow capacitors. And I think before it gets to this big one, when it goes to this transformer, this actually steps it up a little bit. So it steps up the voltage in there. And all these units on low impedance are a DC output, 4,000 or 5,000 volts or higher on the output with every pulse. So maybe AC coming in or 12 volt or 6 volt coming in, but the output is always a DC output of like 4,000, 5,000 or higher. Some of them hit 9,000, 10,000 on certain models and brands. So this transformer, I don't remember offhand, but it's either going to change it over to DC and boost it at the same time, or it goes in there, changes it over to DC, and then gradually builds it up through these yellow capacitors, builds that charge up through those capacitors to probably right around, I'd say 400 volts or so. High amperage, 400 volts to this main big capacitor, and then that takes all that energy. When there's a triggering device on here, which is right here, this little, I can't really see it, I'll lift it up and kind of show you. This little device here is part of the timing. It's a triggering device. It's like an SCR or a thyristor, whatever you want to call them. But most brands have some kind of firing mechanism that tells it when to discharge and trigger. And it ties all that into the rest of the timing circuit, which is part of that chip and some of this other stuff over here. So it does all this stuff within about a second or two. It does it really quick. Because during that non-click cycle, when it's in between clicking, that's when all that timing and discharge and charging up and everything is going on. But when that thing fires, it takes all this energy out of this big capacitor that got built up through all of this over to here, and it discharges it through these wires to the primary side of this transformer, and that transformer takes all that energy, spikes it up to 4,000 or 5,000 volts or higher, and at low current, it does low voltage, high amperage in, but high voltage, low amperage out, and it then spits it over here to your fence and ground terminals. And it does that every second or two, like all these low impedance ones do. So, but this one has a little LED on it right here that will turn on, as you'll see it flashing. So see it clicking right along. And we'll go ahead and we'll put a fence tester across here and show you if that's working. You're getting about 4,500 volts, which for this particular model is probably about right. And then I'm going to take a screwdriver. I'm going to jump her across from the ground side to the hot side and get really close, and you'll see the kind of spark it throws. Cord getting plugged. But yeah, it's a pretty nice little unit. And this is older style units. And actually that circuit board has got a nice, a glaze of like Vaseline petroleum jelly type stuff on the top side of the board and on the bottom side. That's just to kind of help with water and corrosion. So this happens to be installed outdoors, which it really shouldn't be. It's got a gasket. Ooh, what was that screw? It's got a gasket that runs around here, but you can't trust them gaskets. and they're water resistant, not waterproof, but it has a gel coating on the board on the front and back side of like I said, petroleum jelly type stuff. Um, so to protect it if it is installed outdoors. But if it was outdoors, I would put a cover over it, like a 5-gallon bucket over it, build a little box for it. These little things don't, most brands don't get very hot, so you don't have to worry about overheating problems or anything on most brands. But that's just a little, blip about this thing. I don't understand why they got the case like this. Seems like you would want it, the knobs on the bottom. But I don't know who exactly the Zapper Inc. is. I don't think they're around anymore. I never heard of them. They might have been bought out or combined with another company, or maybe this was just a private labeled thing of another brand. I don't know. It kind of looks like a Power Wizard, like an early version Power Wizard, or a Fi-Shock or something like that. Not 100% sure, but I'm not sure. Never heard of the Zapper Inc. brand. I never heard of them. But, they're all the same, the way that they act. So you just got to, once you do a handful of them, I mean, everybody does a little bit differently, but once you get the gist of how a unit works, how it's supposed to work, you kind of go through them and fix them and stuff. But hopefully you like this video. Please subscribe to our channel. We've almost hit 1,000 people, subscribers. We've got, like, as of when this video was recorded, we had 996. I just need 4 more to get that 1,000. And then I can finally apply towards YouTube to get maybe some, I hate the ads thing, but, any little revenue that you can get from something, might as well try to take advantage of it. I mean, it's a kind of a niche thing, so not everybody out there is looking for electric fence stuff, on how to fix things or whatever on electric fence. I mean, there's people out there that do look for it, and that's why we've got, almost have 1,000 subscribers. But anyways, appreciate you checking out our video. If you've got a question, ask us. You go to our website, send me an email, call me. I'm always here. The number on there is my cell phone, so it always gets to me, unless I'm busy doing something or whatever and I can't answer the phone call. But we're located here in the United States. We help people up in Canada with parts and repairs sometimes, and we've sold a handful of parts to people that live overseas in Australia, New Zealand, Europe. Helped out a lady in Malaysia here a while back. So we help out all sorts of people. So for a small guy, small independent shop's pretty cool when you get to help people that live halfway across the world. Because any other time I wouldn't be able to do that. I'm just sitting here on a little place that we've got here. But anyways, until we do another video of how one works, we will see you guys later on.